If you are not happy with the life that you are living now, I want you to ask yourself, when is the last time you intentionally stopped doing something because you said, you know what, this thing is making me unhappy. This thing is separating me from my happiness. A lot of us can't think of it. So I want to give you 6 things that I stopped doing because I realized these things were separating me from actually being happy. The first one, paying attention to condescending tones or little things that people say. Now, this one is more so obviously relationships that you have in your life with friends, with a partner, with possibly family. But one thing I realized is, and I mentioned this a little bit in my video talking about like how to stop being triggered. Um, a lot of times we talk, but we do not listen. We tell, but we do not necessarily receive what the person is saying, especially when it's news that we're proud of, especially when it's news that we're happy with. And I think for me, I'm noticing this because I recently started a 9 to 5, and I'm not saying that I work, oh my God, my job is so amazing and da da da, but like I'm really proud of myself. Like I haven't worked a job in 4 years. I'm literally kind of, changing myself, and so I'm proud to tell people around me like, oh yeah, this happened at work, or just tell people just things of that sort. And one thing I noticed is that everybody is not as proud of you as you necessarily are proud of you because they don't understand your life, but also not everybody looks at you the same way you look at them. Like there are people in your life that you may really care about and you may really be there for, but they're not for you in that way. And I think one of the ways we notice it, because eventually down the line everything's gonna unfold. Like that's just life. But one thing I noticed is that a lot of the relationships that come to an end, a lot of the relationships that have like a block in the road and things like that, we already saw the signs, we just did not pay attention to them. And one thing I've been stopped doing is just talking to people, like telling people, oh this, oh this, oh that, and then just, waiting for a reply and then saying something else. I've been telling people things and then paying attention to what do they say, what are the tones that they use, what are little words that they use, because it's so easy for people to throw in just a little thing trying to be funny, or throw in a little thing that's rude. But mind you, you don't really receive it like that, especially when you're telling people to you, which is good news. You wouldn't even, like, I'm one of them people, if I'm telling you good news, I don't even think that you would say something rude. I don't even think that you would say something condescending, or you get what I'm saying? But I had to notice, whoa, 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 like, I need to start listening more, because people will tell you in small talk without even noticing it themselves. They will tell you how they truly feel. They will put little words in there, put little jokes in there, put little things in there. And then you like, wait. And you start thinking like, am I the problem? Like, am I overreacting? Am I over? No, that person is throwing in little condescending things. That person is throwing in little rude things. And I feel like that was separating me from my happiness, because sometimes it will make me question myself. Like, dang, Shamaya, you're really doing a lot. Like, it's not that serious. It's not that. But then also down the road, when things would happen with people, I would be like, whoa, where did this come from? I'm feeling like stuff is coming out of left field. And it's like, no, if you would have paid attention when you were speaking to them, especially when you're speaking to them about things that you're proud of, or things that are important to you, or just things about you, over time, I'm telling you, pay attention to the little things that people are saying, and do not think that they're little, because a lot of times down the road, those are the things that unfold the relationship. Those are the things that become big. And you're like, wait, where did this come from? It was there the entire time. So I recommend start paying attention to what people say the entire sentence. Like, I've been paying attention to just the littlest things to understand, wow, this is really how you feel about me. Wow, this is how you really feel about the situation. Because yeah, it'll bring the truth out. And kind of going off what I said before, as far as starting a job, and everything like that for the first time in a couple years, I became happier when I lost my old identity. I've mentioned this a little bit, and I actually, comment below if y'all want me to talk about it. I kind of want to talk about how, like, I went from being like a 6-figure business owner to now working a 9 to 5, which is a crazy story. Well, interesting story, but I had to lose my old identity. I realized me holding on to being this boss babe, me holding on to being this business owner, me holding on to that identity was really keeping me back, because I couldn't bring myself to get a job, if you will. And it's not because it was a lot of stuff that went into it. I think it was a piece of embarrassment, because it's like, dang, everybody knows me as being this and being that. And, now I have to get a job. It also was like me thinking I already had an identity that was set in stone, and I'm kind of like, this is who I am. Like, this is who I have to be for the rest of my life. Like, I can never get a job. I can never, da, da, da. I'm a struggle. I'm a business owner. We struggle. We make it through. And so there was that. But I had to realize, like, I was so unhappy because I was scared of changing my identity. I always state in my videos, everything changes. The leaves change on a tree. The world changes. People change. People die. People are born. And if you have yourself stuck in a mindset of an old identity, I promise you it's going to be so hard for you to be happy, because you have to change. Like, I had to change my identity and say, you know what? Okay, there are pieces that I can take from my past. There's lessons I learned I could take from my past, but now I have to actually implement them into my future. And now I'm creating a whole new version of myself. And it's still kind of scary because I'm adjusting to things and getting used to things that I that I wasn't used to before, or getting rid of things that I was used to before. But one of the things I realized was keeping me back was that I was so held up on my old identity that I'm just like, you can't change. You can't do this. You can't do that. You're Shamaya. You're a business owner. You're a content creator. You do that. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not a happy one. So if I want to be happy, I have to change something. And I had to, at my core, be okay with it, because I had to change my identity. For so long, I told myself, yeah, you need to change. Yeah, you need to change. But like, I would change in such small ways that it wouldn't really change my life, because I was like, I got to keep the old identity. Okay, you could do this, but it has to coincide with that. And so that's one thing I recommend to people. Like, you have to forget you have to change your whole identity. You have to be seen as somebody different. You have to be seen as whatever the case may be, because, and not even seen, but you have to become somebody different. You get what I'm saying? Because the person that you are is not happy. So it's like, why do you keep going in the same patterns, same circles, the same things, if you know that life is not bringing you happiness? Now, also going off kind of like the whole now getting a 9 to 5 and working, one of the things I had to realize is the start of your day dictates who you live your life for. And this is especially imperative because a lot of people ask me, how do I change my life? And I don't know where to start. And I don't know where to start. And I don't know how to begin. You start with the start of your day. And that tells you truly who you are living your life for. And a lot of times that explains why you're not happy. If you start your day, if you wake up an hour before you have to go to work, an hour and 30 minutes before you have to go to work, or just enough time for you to wash your face, brush your teeth, eat something, put on your clothes, and then go to work, you are living your life for your job. And a lot of people do not realize that's why they're not happy. I get it. I'm not saying everybody has to be a business owner. I'm not saying everybody has to be a content creator and have a side hustle and all this other stuff. If you genuinely like your job and you genuinely, are happy there, you're like, I just want to climb the ranks here. I just want to do this. That's perfectly fine. But you still are only living your life for your job if you wake up at a time that's relative to you only being able to focus on work in the morning. If you have, like I'm saying, some people want to have side hustles. Some people just want to get their body together. Some people just want to be healthier. Like, if you wake up in the morning and your entire morning intention is work, then your entire day is going to be work. Your weeks are going to become work. Your life is going to become work. In my opinion, you should wake up 2.5 to 3 hours before you have to go to work, so that gives you enough time to focus on you. That time period in the morning needs to be you, because as we all know, by the time you get off of work, as the day progresses, you get tired. You get what I'm saying? You get exhausted. You don't have as much energy. You don't have as much motivation or even discipline to do a lot of the things that you're supposed to do. And even for the people that do have a little bit of motivation, you still need that time before work. Like, there's some people who I see on TikTok. There was this nurse that I follow, and she was saying after her shift, she goes to the gym. That's great. But after a lot of our shifts, we also cook. We also, you get what I'm saying? Like, we also got to do stuff for the house, like clean. We got to get our clothes ready for tomorrow. So switch that. Now, if you say, hey, after work, I want to go to the gym. Okay, so that means your mornings need to be devoted to the things you usually would do after work. So maybe your mornings are devoted to meal prepping. Maybe your mornings are devoted to, cleaning up the house, because you're like, now the time I usually would use to do that, I want to put into me. And it just depends on what you want to do with your life. Like I said, it could be a plethora of things. But one of the things I realized that make a lot of people unhappy and was making me unhappy was the start to my day. I was waking up, not even noticing it, devoting my day to whatever it was going to be. And you know what I'm saying? If it's you going to work, only having enough time to get ready for work and only think about work, you're giving your life to your job. So I think the first step to changing your life and starting is to start your day earlier. And then once you start your day earlier, that's when you figure out, okay, what am I going to do in this time period? But I think that's one of the things that a lot of people don't think about. But after realizing it myself, I'm like, this makes so much sense. How I start my day is how my day usually, the course of my day go. For the most part, if you have a good morning, you probably will have a good day more times than not. You get what I'm saying? So it's like being aware of how you start your morning and essentially who you start your morning before tells you a lot of times who you live your life for. So that's one thing I had to stop doing. Like waking up just not having any intention, not having any purpose, and just letting the day drag me along. Now, one of the things I had to stop doing is doing good things and using that as an excuse to not do the things I'm supposed to do. It's so easy to be busy and find that to be productivity. And for one of the things for me, it's been reading. I mentioned this on my last 6 ways to become happy video, but I have really gotten into reading lately, specifically romance books. I have become a romance junkie when it comes to the books, and I love them so much. Like I literally can read them for hours, sipping some tea, laying down. Like it's great. And though that does sound good in theory, right, reading it should be a good thing, I had to realize just because I'm doing something good does not necessarily mean that it's good for that time period. Because there were times where I'm like, all right, let me just read for 30 more minutes, but I really should be cleaning my bathroom because I know I got work the next day. I got to do this. I got to do that. Or let me just read for 45 more minutes, knowing, hey, you should be meal prepping, knowing, hey, you should be figuring out what you know what I'm saying, you're going to do for the week. You should be making your planner, your calendar, whatever the case may be. And I think sometimes we do that as well, especially when you start developing good habits or healthy habits. That's why having a schedule is so imperative. But and it sounds so weird. I think it's like you definitely have to start developing healthy habits to realize how that can be a problem. But sometimes we develop healthy habits or good habits that we may like. For some people, it might be the gym. They're like, oh, I'm gonna stay at the gym for 30 minutes longer. You know you're supposed to leave the gym at a certain time because you know after you leave the gym, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do that. And it kind of like messes up your whole day. And so that's one of the things I had to do was like, I had to stop convincing myself that I was doing something good because I was doing something good. Like convincing myself, oh, at least I'm doing something. At least I'm not on my phone. At least I'm not watching TV. And it's like, yeah, that's good, but you're actually not doing also what you're supposed to be doing. So that's not good as well. You might as well be honestly watching TV or doing something unproductive because if your life isn't going in the direction, I should say, that you want it to go into, is it really productivity? You know what I'm saying? Like it's so easy to listen to these self-growth videos and things like that and people telling you what to do specifically. But I always tell people find your own variation of it. Because people will literally tell you, oh, wake up in the morning and then wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and then go to the gym and then get sunlight in the morning and then do a cold plunge shower. And they have all these, things to do, which may be great for them. But for you, your body, that's not what you need to do. This person over here is trying to focus on becoming a gym rat and getting their body together, and that's their main focus. But for you, you want to start that business. Or for you trying to figure out how to balance college and how to balance, also having a side hustle. You get what I'm saying? Like that's what you're trying to balance. And so if that's what your focus is, that's what productivity is for you, having a productive life, listening to a video that's telling you to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, have a cold plunge, take a shower, that's not productive for you. Is it a productive thing to do? Yeah, but that's not productive in a way that you want your life to go. So I think that's one thing I had to realize. Just because you're doing something good does not mean it's always good for you at that particular time point. And another thing I've had to really get into now that I'm working is prepping, but prepping for everything. And I actually was thinking about, comment below if y'all wanted creating like a 30-minute, the video will be 30 minutes, but showing you guys how to create a 30-minute weekly Sunday reset on like how I prep for my entire week, kind of like for success. But I prep everything. I prep my food, I prep my clothes, I prep my pajamas, I prep my little snacks and baggies. So when I do go to work, it's time for me to go to work, I don't have to, pack my snacks. I prep everything. I prep smoothies. Like prepping has made my life so much easier, and it has allowed me to be more intentional with the things that I'm doing. Because even like the previous thing I said, just because you're doing something good does not mean it's good. Just because you're cooking every single night something healthy does not mean that that's the best time best thing you should be doing with your time. Instead of waiting to cook every single night, why don't you prep for 2-3 days? So during that time period of, you know, you coming home and cooking, you could be doing something else. Like even my clothes, I know on Sunday what I'm going to be wearing on Thursday. I put my clothes on my hanger and literally know my pajamas. I know what pajamas I'm going to be wearing on Friday, or already know that on Monday. You get what I'm saying? And it makes my life so much easier. It causes me not to have decision fatigue. Not sure if you guys are familiar with that term, but it's when our brains literally become tired because they have too many decisions to make, and it tires us out. And it's something that happens especially over time. They've actually tested it in doctors, and they noticed that more as the day progresses, more inaccuracies or errors tend to happen inside the hospital because decision fatigue. You've made so many decisions in the beginning of the day, and then towards the midday and the end of the day, your body, your mind is so tired that a lot of times it doesn't pick up on the little things. It doesn't notice the little things. And so that's one thing I had to do, like in decision fatigue, because it's going to mess up my entire day because I'm using my brain too much in the morning. On Sunday, I figure out everything that I need to do. I figure out what I'm going to eat. I figure out what I'm going to, so when it does come time, even though I try to cook like 2 times a week, Sunday and Wednesday. I cook for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I cook for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, kind of, sort of. Yeah, that's kind of sort of like what I use. And even with that, I write down, even though specifically I don't cook all the stuff, you know, every single day, I write down. So when Wednesday does come, I don't have to sit in the kitchen like, okay, so what am I gonna eat? What meat do I have to take out? What do I know every meal I need to cook. When Sunday rolls around, I know every meal I need to cook. Like prepping is so imperative with every single thing that you do. And I notice it's just made me so much happier because it's allowed me to be intentional with my time. It's allowed me to be productive with my time. And I don't know, it just, I like the amount of time it takes us in the morning sometimes to figure out an outfit. Like, it's crazy. You put on an outfit and you're like, oh, wait, no, I didn't check the weather. I need to put on my rain boots because it's raining. Oh, wait, no, I don't want to wear these pants. Where my other pants at? And you realize I just spent 20 minutes getting ready. You do that every single morning. That time really adds up, and you could be doing so many other things. So, like I said, I had to stop doing things specifically when I was supposed to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like get ready for work before I was supposed to get work, cook dinner when I got home, and instead start prepping things because it's just made my life so much easier. And the final thing is everything has a place. Everything, I might have mentioned this on a previous video, but everything has to have a place. There needs to be you need to know where you are putting your hair products. You need to know where you are putting your, I have a bag for even my content stuff. Like everything has to have a place. And I think for me, it kind of goes into time productivity and into prepping and things like that because I realize I waste so much time because I don't know where certain stuff is. Or certain things don't necessarily have a specific place where they should be. And so I just put them anywhere. Or sometimes I just put stuff down. Now I put everything in its place. Nothing just goes anywhere. Nothing just goes. Everything has to have a place. It saves you so much time. It saves you so much energy. And honestly, I feel like it just makes my life feel more organized, and your perception is your reality. If your life feels more organized, you're going to start living your life like an organized person. So having a place for, there's nothing in your home that should not have a place. I do not care what it is. It needs to have a place. I even have a place for my books. I used to store my books inside a closet, inside of a little cubby. Now I bought these two little, it's actually, I've had it for a while, but I just forgot that I had them. But these two look like a pineapple cut in half, and then I put the books in between it. So I just push the thing together. It's like a kind of like a big paperweight, if you will, and it holds up all my books. And now my books are organized. It seems so small, but now I literally can look at my books and be like, oh, this is the book I'm reading. Oh, this is the book I'm. Everything now has a place. It's not things are disorganized. It's not things literally, and this is more specific, but I literally had little cubbies inside of my dresser. So I have specifically like my underwear are in these little cubbies, and my pajamas are in these little specific cubbies, and my workout clothes, the tops are on this side, the bottoms are on this side. Like everything has a place, so I don't ever have to wonder where is something. I don't have to worry about stuff mixing together because everything has, you get what I'm saying, its own little designated area. And yeah, it seems like nothing. It seems like, okay, this one is probably like dumb, but I realized this has actually really changed my life. Like maybe it's just the knowing of it, maybe it's just the time saving of it, but just knowing that everything has a place and I always know where everything is has really just made things to me a lot better. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, I have a playlist where I'm featuring the 6 things I stopped doing to make me happy. I think this might be video like 4 or 5. So every single couple weeks, I try to get, you get what I'm saying, starting new stuff. So I feel like this should be good, especially because like I said, I'm starting my 9 to 5. So I'm creating a new identity. I'm creating new problems. I'm creating new solutions. So I'll be happy to take you guys on the journey with me. And like I said, comment below if you guys do want me to explain the video on how I went from being a business owner until now. It's something that I'm not really, like I said, I was kind of embarrassed of. I was kind of kind of sort of, because it's like now people look at me like this and now people look at me like that. But I feel like those story is worth sharing. I feel like a lot of people can learn from it. And there's things that I wish I knew back then that I knew now that I would have done differently, and hopefully that'll help y'all. So thank y'all so much, and don't forget to have a great one.